Current situation: U.S.-Iran military conflict, March 2026. 1. How the war started. On the 28th of February 2026, the United States and Israel launched large air and missile strikes on Iran, targeting nuclear and military facilities. The strikes reportedly killed Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and other officials, triggering immediate retaliation. Iran responded with missile and drone attacks on Israel, U.S. bases, and allied countries in the Middle East. This marked the beginning of the 2026 Iran war. Major military developments. 2. Missile and drone attacks across the Middle East. Iran has launched large-scale attacks on U.S. and allied targets. Missile and drone strikes on U.S. bases in Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. Several U.S. soldiers killed and dozens wounded in Kuwait. Some missiles were intercepted by air defense systems. Iran is also coordinating with allies such as Hezbollah in attacks against Israel. Number 3. Fighting in the Strait of Hormuz. A major escalation is happening in the Strait of Hormuz, a key oil shipping route. U.S. forces destroyed 16 Iranian mine-laying boats. Several merchant ships were struck by projectiles, causing fires and evacuations. About 20% of the world's oil supply passes through this strait, so disruptions are affecting global energy markets. Oil prices briefly surged above $120 per barrel due to fears of supply disruption. 4. Heavy bombing and civilian casualties. U.S. and Israeli strikes have hit multiple Iranian cities, including Tehran. Iran says over 1,300 civilians have been killed and more than 17,000 injured since the war began. A controversial U.S. strike reportedly hit a school, killing more than 160 people, which is under investigation. 5. Cyber war and economic warfare. The conflict is expanding beyond traditional warfare. Iran-linked hackers launched cyber attacks on Western companies. Oil markets and shipping lanes are being targeted to pressure the U.S. and allies. Political situation inside Iran. Despite heavy bombing, U.S. intelligence says Iran's government is still stable. Leadership is now reportedly under Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of the former Supreme Leader. Risk of a wider war. Analysts warn this conflict could expand because Iran has regional proxy militias in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. Major powers like Russia and China are watching closely. Attacks on shipping could trigger a global economic crisis. Current status: war ongoing. About 4 weeks since the first strikes. Fighting across Iran, Israel, the Persian Gulf, and surrounding countries. Why this conflict is dangerous. The war between United States, Iran, and Israel has already spread across the Middle East. Iran has launched missile and drone attacks on several countries and U.S. bases, including Kuwait, Bahrain, and Oman. At the same time, shipping in the Strait of Hormuz has been attacked and threatened. About 20% of the world's oil supply moves through this strait, meaning global economies are directly affected. Multiple regional militias and proxy forces are becoming involved. This makes the conflict larger than a normal regional war, when it could become World War III. For a true world war, major global powers would need to fight each other directly. The key countries to watch are Russia, China, United Kingdom, NATO. If any of these enter the war militarily, escalation becomes far more likely. Possible triggers include: 1. Iran attacks a NATO country. If Iran directly attacks a NATO member and NATO invokes collective defense, many countries could join the war. 2. Russia or China support Iran militarily. If Russia or China send troops, ships, or air defenses, the conflict becomes a great power confrontation. 3. Closure of the Strait of Hormuz. If Iran successfully blocks the strait, it could trigger global economic collapse, forcing more countries to intervene. 4. Nuclear weapons. If any country uses nuclear weapons, the situation could escalate rapidly into a world war. Why experts say World War III is not likely yet. Despite the escalation, most governments are trying to avoid direct confrontation. Reasons: Russia and China prefer political or economic support, not open war. The U.S. is trying to keep the conflict limited to Iran and regional forces. Many countries fear a global economic crash if the war spreads. One analysis says the conflict is a dangerous spiral of escalation, but still short of global war. Bottom line, the war is one of the most dangerous geopolitical crises in decades, but it has not yet crossed the threshold into a world war. Pray to the Lord of the universe for his timely intervention. The good news just in: 23rd March, 2026. What happened? Donald Trump has ordered a temporary suspension about 5 days of planned U.S. military strikes on Iran's power plants and energy infrastructure. This pause came after what he described as very good and productive peace talks with Iran. Why the suspension? The goal is to give diplomacy a chance and potentially end the ongoing conflict. The U.S. had earlier issued a 48-hour ultimatum to Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, a critical global oil route, but that deadline has now been extended. Major tension still remains. Iran denies that any direct talks are happening, calling Trump's claims misleading. The conflict itself is ongoing, with threats of retaliation from Iran, continued regional instability, disputes over nuclear issues, and military actions. Global impact. Markets reacted immediately. Oil prices dropped sharply, stock markets rose, economic pressure slightly eased. Bottom line. This is not a full ceasefire, it's a temporary pause in attacks. Peace talks may be opening a door, but the situation is still volatile and uncertain. Sources. Major news sources. Here are credible sources supporting the information about the U.S.-Iran military conflict and its potential global impact. Reuters, U.S. military operations and Iranian retaliation. The Guardian, escalation in the Strait of Hormuz. PBS NewsHour, Associated Press reporting, missile barrages. Al Jazeera, threats to global oil supply. UK Parliament Research Briefing, Global Conflict Trackers. Please like, share, subscribe for more updates on global issues.
Yeah. The blood still speaks. Yeah. The blood still speaks. Louder than my past, louder than my pain. The blood speaks louder. I'm covered in grace. Chains fell off when I called your name. From the cross to the throne, you made a way. Now I'm living free, I'll never be the same. Oh, I'm redeemed by the Lamb. Oh, now I know who I am. No more shame, no more fear. I stand by the power in the blood I overcome. I was lost in the dark, no light in my vision. Running from truth, addicted to sinning. Heart full of scars, soul in a prison. Then you showed up, rewrote my beginning. Grace hit different, broke every chain. Blood of the Lamb, washing my stain. Devil been talking, but I can't complain, cause the voice of the blood is calling my name. I'm not who I was, I've been redeemed. New creation, yeah, I'm living clean. From the pit to the palace, you lifted me. And now I walk in authority, victory. No condemnation, I'm justified. By your sacrifice, I'm sanctified. Every curse broke, every lie denied. Now I'm standing strong, I'm purified. The blood speaks louder, I'm covered in grace. Chains fell off when I called your name. From the cross to the throne, you made a way. Now I'm living free, I'll never be the same. Oh, I'm redeemed by the Lamb. Oh, now I know who I am. No more shame, no more fear. I stand by the power in the blood I overcome. Tell the accuser back off me. Blood of Jesus got authority. Every record wiped clean, I'm free. That's kingdom talk, that's victory. I plead the blood when the war gets real. Helmet of salvation, that's how I deal.